Salutations, everybody. This is IgbarVonSquid making a splash. And, happy April Fools. Fooled ya, scared ya, confused ya. Some of you were most likely expecting an actual, argument between, Wynncraft, Dungeonrealms, but nope, it's not the case. In fact, I can never actually make this video because every time I've tried to every time I've tried to join Dungeonrealms in the past year, it always spit out some random error, and I'd always Google it, and like no results. It's just some random error that makes no sense at all, and I don't think there's any way I can actually fix that unless I talk to Dungeonrealms is like, hey, I'm getting a random error, let me join your server so that I can trash on it. It's not happening, ever. So, the rest of this video is going to be to fill up a 20-minute time slot. So that 20 minutes, talk about whatever I want to make it look like this video was actually legit. So, I mean, I could have just, had 20 minutes of nothingness, but that would be lame. So, for those of you who want to stick around, feel free to stick around. But those of you who want the actual debate, it is not happening. I guess I could try knocking off some stuff I've wanted to talk about for videos, but just never got around to doing them. Not all these. Some of these are just stuff that just randomly came to mind. Usually I write this stuff down, but I didn't write any of this down, so this is all winging it. And I'm also doing it one try. No redos, so hopefully I don't jumble up the words too much like I tend to do. So first thing, oh wait, no, actually before I get to the first thing, the footage in the background is gonna be whatever. I don't know what it'll be. I'm not too sure if it can actually be Wynncraft because I mean I don't really have a lot of footage. There's not a lot to do that'd be interesting to anyone. So I don't know what it'll be. So first thing, remember Zeit Island, that a nuisance of a quest, and how at the end you get 3 Zeit potions? Am I the only one that saw that it could restore all your health and thought, oh, I should save these for later, and then never use them? I have yet to use them, and I doubt I will ever use them. I'd much rather die instead of using one and wasting it, because that's just the type of person I am. So I still have them. I even keep them in my inventory, not on my hotbar, but I always carry them around in all of my inventories thinking at some point I'm going to drink one and not waste it. And that's never gonna happen, ever. I should probably just sell them. But they probably sell for like nothing because no one buys potions. That's dumb. So I do that. And I'd hope I'm not the only one, but at the same time, it'd probably be better if I was the only one who did that. Speaking of inventories, one thing I also do with all my inventories is I always carry around 3 weapons. And I'm sure a lot of people did notice that, and I think some people actually did comment on that. And that's actually an old trick, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense anymore. In the old Nether, like the old Nether, where skill points and weapons and powders and all that stuff actually like mattered, having 3 different weapons was actually pretty useful. You have your sharpness 2 weapon, which is like your Bob's mythic weapon or your Strong's weapon, whatever weapon it was, you use that one. And then in the second slot, well, the second and third slots could vary, depending on what type of person you are. One of the other weapons would be like your second strongest weapon. So like if we're talking mage, your first one would be a Bob's Mythic Wand. So your second one might be an ethereal or an eradicadiscament. I can never say that name. Leg, that one. And you'd put fire 2 on it. And that way, if you're facing like an assassin or something, you could just spam with that weapon and you'd hit the assassin and then you knew where he was, because then he wouldn't be invisible. So, and then the third one would be knockback 2. And this one is not always for the nether. This one is just for anything, really. The knockback 2 would, if someone got in your face, you can just push them back with the knockback wand. But it's also good for just regular PvP. I mean, I guess the fire trick is also good for regular PvP, but I don't regular PvP often. But it's fun to just kind of knock people around and toss them into the air with knockback 2. And then also in the old days when you could bring strong mobs into towns is pretty useful for that, although you can't do that anymore, and I wouldn't recommend you do that because you would get banned and everyone would be mad at you, so don't do that. So that explains that. So that's 2 things off my list. What list? Mental list. What else can I knock off? I kind of want to save guilds for later because that's a bit of a rant. Oh, I could talk about warrior surfing. That's something I've mentioned a bunch of times. It's been a bunch of videos, never talked about it. People always want to know what it was. So I suppose now is as good a time as any to reward those who sat through the whole video, even though it's only 6 minutes in. But for those who were like, oh, 20 minutes of Igbar talking about whatever the heck he wants. Oh, I definitely want to watch this. So warrior surfing is a glitch, an exploit. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's not really the type of glitch that you can abuse. It's just something that happens sometimes. And basically, if you're a warrior and you have the aerodynamics upgrade at level 46, so charge 3, the way the aerodynamics upgrade works compared to the old one is that in the old one you do the charge and then you're tossed forward, and then that charge 2, if you bump into something when you charge forward, you damage them. But at charge level 3, the mechanics change. The charge doesn't stop until you touch the ground, and that is where the glitch comes in, because sometimes it doesn't register that you hit the ground and you keep charging anyway. And then sometimes that chains again and again and again and again, and that's how I got that 6 charge combo, because it just kept not registering that I was hitting the ground, which is really luck based. There's no real way to actually abuse it. From what I've seen, I think it tends to happen more often when the server is a little laggy, not extremely, but only a little bit. That seems to increase your chances, but other than that, you can't really abuse it. So it just kind of happens. But, if you can record more than a 6 charge combo, then kudos to you, because that's not something very easy to get on camera, because you have to do it a bunch of times until it happens. So, that's warrior surfing. What else? I suppose now is as good a time as any to talk about guilds, because I got a bit to say on guilds. Guilds, I don't like guilds at all. I just, the thing with guilds is guilds were released incomplete, and that's probably everything about Wynncraft. That's like the Wynncraft motto, is just get it out there, but don't complete it yet. Just do it later. You have to get all the bases and then build up from there. It's like doing a mage build, where at first you think you should, no, not even mage. It's just the way I did my mage at first. When you are building your first character and you don't know anything, you haven't played any RPGs or anything, so you do not know how to do skill builds, and you just put one in everything and just keep doing that until you're at the end game and you realize your build is absolutely terrible because you tried to be cool and be the jack of all trades. It doesn't work like that. And that's kind of what Wynncraft does, is they like to add in all the content unfinished, and then finish it later. And I can't blame them for doing that. That's a good system. Guilds was probably the #1 most requested feature ever. So it's nice to finally tick that off the board. So guilds are not finished. Don't look at them as a finished thing. There's still other stuff that's probably going to come out with Gavel, or at least come after Gavel. But personally, I don't like guilds, and that's because they are unfinished. They have no content. If you can grind all day, every day, never sleep, never go to school, never go to work, never do nothing. And what do you get? You get #1 spot on the leaderboard. Wow. That amounts to absolutely nothing. It doesn't amount to anything. It doesn't change the gameplay. It does absolutely nothing. And it's basically just to tie over level 75 and, people who've basically beat the game, to tie them over until bigger, better updates come out. So give them something to do. So right now, guilds are useless, and they're a sinkhole in the economy, because all the money that goes into guilds does not come out of guilds. It goes in guilds and stays in guilds. So by putting money in guilds, you are literally just wasting money, because it goes nowhere. It is just to guilds are basically just to take your money out of your pocket and out of the usable economy. So, not to say you shouldn't put money into guilds. You should. If you like your guild and guilds are something you like to do, go ahead. Guilds are great for you. But for me, guilds are not great. I do not like grinding for extended periods of time only for it to amount to nothing. Because what inspires me to grind is like, okay, if I grind out now, I can do a cool, lore expanding quest later. And that's basically what inspired me to go to level 75, was that before, when it was just level 70, I wanted to go to level 70 because then I could do the Temple Legends quest. And Temple Legends it's kind of mentioned everywhere. So I was like, well, I want to know what the Temple Legends is. I want to do the quest. And originally I was going to do walkthroughs of it, but all the walkthroughs I found were just literal live commentary as the person walked all across the province to get the items, and that's no one wants to sit through that. Please never do that. If you're a Let's Play person, don't do that ever. It's the worst thing you can ever do. So I basically, I'm just gonna grind at 70 and do it myself. And I did it myself, and I loved the quest. I thought Temple Legends was a great quest. And then Ocean Update came out, level cap raised 75. And at first I wasn't going to grind it, but then I realized there was a new quest that expanded the lore even more. And I was like, okay, I'll grind it. And so I did, and I did the quest, and then I did 4 more times than all my other classes, and I'm not touching the reskin classes yet. I've already done it once. I don't want to do it again with a class that's exactly the same. So I'm not touching that at all. It looks like I got about 5 minutes. I can go overtime. I don't care about going overtime. I can sit here, go overtime. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So guilds are no. What else could I talk about? Ooh, I could talk about the new item update. Yeah, you guys want to hear some spoilers? I can tell you the release date. It's when it's done. That's what Salted actually said. I got to ask him a few questions about it, and I asked him if you had to guess on a potential release date, or at least a beta test for moderators or anything, when do you think that would be? And he said when it's done. So I got no idea when it's coming out, but it's actually, oh dear, screen went black. I didn't move my mouse for 15 minutes. But you guys are gonna love that update. It's gonna be super cool. It's everything I've wanted out of the Wynncraft item system for a long time. It is way better in every way. I really don't like the current item system, but this is gonna be super great. And that's really all I can say. So those of you hoping for major spoilers gonna have to wait. I could also talk about Gavel a little bit. Gavel looks about half done, half finished, but it actually looks really cool. And I'm the type of person that has maps mentally laid out, so I barely ever get lost, like ever. It's very rare if I get lost in a video game. But I've seen Gavel a bunch of times, and I've flown around Gavel a bunch of times, and I always get lost because I never. It's too confusing. Gavel removed for being too confusing to new players. Stupid Team Fortress 2. I mean, I guess I could talk about Team Fortress 2 as well, but I mean, I'm already on the Gavel thing, so I don't really want to break off that yet. And so it's very big, and when they said it's like bigger than the Wynn province, I can definitely believe that. It's definitely a lot bigger, and there's a lot of stuff. I don't even know everything that's going to be included. Because, you know, I'm not a builder, they don't tell me these things. But when I'm looking at Gavel, I see all these things, I'm like, no way, are they actually gonna do this? No way, oh my god, whoa, this is so cool. So, it's pretty cool. You guys are gonna love Gavel. I'm also going to love Gavel a lot. Um, What else? I mean, talking about Team Fortress 2 is dumb at this point. I don't play Team Fortress 2. I didn't play since Scream Fortress, but I will admit the end of the line update, and yeah, I mean this is an old topic. End of the line update sucked horribly. It's the worst. I expect nothing good out of any more Team Fortress 2 updates after that. That was a poor excuse. You could have just said it wasn't finished. You didn't need to make up some lame excuse like too confusing to new players. Come on, don't be a loser like that. One of the other things that came up recently is early access games, and that's something that a lot of people talk about. Like, don't buy early access games, it's a trap, it's a scam, don't do this, don't do that. And I've come to realize my own 2 cents on that, because it came up recently when someone made a Robocraft thread in the Wynncraft forums, and they listed all the update stuff, and they added so much stuff to the point where it's like, if I wanted to play Robocraft now, I wouldn't understand anything of what was going on. And it's not even been a year, or even half a year, it's only been a few months. Well, actually, it could have been half a year already. I could check since last played on Steam, but I don't have Steam open, and I'm not going to bother waiting. So, the Robocraft, in less than a year, added all this incredible stuff and all this amazing stuff, and it's still free to play, and it's still early access. So, Robocraft is the type of early access game that all early access games should be. And then on the other end, look at Nether. And Nether's a game I don't talk about often. Nether's a game I don't play often, because I don't like Nether that much. I paid 20 bucks up front for it, because I thought it was cool. And was it worth 20 bucks? No, but I was willing to pay 20 bucks up front for what was already there. And what was already there wasn't worth 20 bucks, and I figured that out later, but live, let be. I don't think that's the expression. I think it's live and let to be. But Nether is also an early access game. You paid 20 bucks for the early access, and it's probably been a year. And when I got my new computer, Nether was the game I jumped to, and I thought, I gotta play this, because this is the type of game that would run well on a really good computer that I have now. And it changed, not at all. It didn't change at all. I still remembered all the good looting spots. There were still all good looting spots. And they expanded on the map in the wrong direction, because the way the map is laid out is it's an abandoned city, so they showed all this abandoned city stuff grayed out, that it was implied that they were actually going to build there, that was going to be new content, and instead they made all the new content to the left in a barren wasteland that nobody cares about. And the clan system, I think it was clans, it's not guilds, certainly not guilds, but probably like clans. The clan system was barely expanded upon at all. It's still the same. So Nether, after a year, is pretty much basically the same. I paid 20 bucks for it, and early access, and they've changed pretty much nothing. So no, Robocraft is no. I guess another technically early access game could be PlanetSide 2. I've recently gotten back into PlanetSide 2. There probably still won't be any gameplay footage of that, because I know a lot of people don't want to see that. There might be some in this, though. So, I hope you enjoyed that, because that probably would have played already, because I'm technically already in 20-minute overtime. So it's yeah. PlanetSide 2 recently changed hands, different company now. They did do a recent update that wasn't actually too bad. So I have some hope that PlanetSide 2 will at least last another year. It might go downhill after that, but right now where the game stands, it's pretty fine. I mean, sure, it might be a little buggy, a little broken, but I mean, at least it can be played, and that's pretty good. I'd also like to say, because now they think about other games, other MMoRPGs for Minecraft. Not just Dungeonrealms. There's a lot coming out over the horizon, to the point where I should actually be writing these down, so when it comes out, I can actually know. I can remember them. I do that for my anime. My anime. My waifu. Um, but I should really do that for these servers as well, because I want to check them out when they come out. I like Minecraft MMORPGs, and it's only for the sake that it's first person and it's simple controls. Because other than that, I do not like MMORPGs ever. I don't like mindless grinding. I don't like different key controls. I don't like any of that stuff. All that stuff is a pain. So I don't like the top-down cameras. I don't like having to press 1, 2, and 3 to use a skill and skill cooldowns. And ugh. So I really like Wynncraft because it has simplistic. It's first-person controls. I'm used to that. So I feel like I'm actually doing something, and I'm not just telling someone else to do it. And simple click combos. In fact, I think all MMORPGs should just use click combos for, or at least Minecraft MMORPGs. I mean, I know people turn around and say, oh, you're copying Wynncraft, you can't do that. But, I mean, for the sake of having simplistic controls, they should become the niche, the meta. Because I played Warlords, and I felt the controls were so clunky, because you have to scroll wheel or press a number key, and then you have to press right click, and most of the time you have to click you have to right click 5 times because it doesn't even register, and then the skill does nothing. I mean, going on a quick tangent on Warlords, I don't like Warlords either. I mean, sure, it looks cool, but I mean, the time to kill is so slow. It's unbelievable. Like, Warlords would be the same exact gameplay if you got 2 people unarmored, no weapons, and told them to punch each other to death. It would take the same amount of time to punch someone to death. In fact, it'd probably be killing someone in Warlords would probably take longer than 2 people punching each other to death, because that's just how, insanely long it takes to kill someone. It's stupid. And it's probably because I'm coming from a first-person shooter background, where most fights don't take longer than, say, 5 seconds. That'd be at the longest, and usually it takes longer, shorter amount of time. Usually it takes less than a second, sometimes 2 seconds, But a whopping 5 seconds is just way too big. So, and saying Warlords fights take longer than that, it's no. And plus, it's released unfinished. There's 2 maps, 2 game modes, and both of them kind of suck. So there's that. I guess I'm into overtime now, and I'm kind of tired. So perhaps I should, I'm yawning right now. Perhaps I should end it off here. Wonder where I should end it off. Oh yeah, no one's really watching the Voyager series, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway, because I like doing it. Something to do, something to upload. I mean, I wouldn't be uploading anything anyway, so I mean, might as well, right? So if you want to watch it, go ahead. If you don't, whatever. If you are watching it, you should at least comment or something so I know you're watching it. Because I don't really know if anyone is actually watching it and enjoying it. It's just whatever. But the other Voyager people are good people, and I always forget to link them in the description. I'm a horrible person. I think there might have been one more thing I want to talk about, but I don't suppose there is. I'm in overtime now, so, guess that's it then. I guess that's the end of the video. I don't think I'll ever do a real Wynncraft versus Dungeonrealms discussion because let's be honest here, Dungeonrealms is like never. Isn't it like currently broken or something? I'm pretty sure it is. Oh wait, no, I actually want to talk about a bit more on Minecraft MMoRPGs. Some of them look hopeful, some of them not so much. I hope they use simplistic controls, as I said. But I also hope they're not edgy. And what I mean by edgy is, if you look at Wynncraft's storyline, it's actually complex. It's actually, it has story, it has characters, it has all the stuff, and it's not just like all dumped on you right at the beginning. It's all very spread out throughout the game. So I'm hoping a lot of these MMORPGs don't turn out like that. Or don't turn out to be not like that. Where it's like, I am evil, dude. I take over kingdom. You gotta kill me. War, poverty, then that's it. Like, I don't want that. That's so edgy and, like, terrible. I like Wynncraft for its storyline. I also like Wynncraft for its bright colors. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I mean, you look at the Wynncraft website, you look in game, the whole place is very bright, but you look at a lot of these new ones coming out eventually, and they're so dark. The websites are dark, the artwork dark, the game dark. So it's all trying to be dark and edgy and cool. It's like, I don't know. I don't think you should be doing that. And Wynncraft is music, and even the music is very upbeat. So trying to be dark and edgy is not always a selling point. And I have looked at there was one that I saw that actually used mods, and at that point I basically like threw it into another bin outside of Wynncraft and Dungeonrealms because now it's outside of the realm of vanilla. Now it is not. It's edgy. It's not. It's even worse when you throw in mods. So I mean it look cool because they add unique character animations so you can, like, sit down and stuff, and that's a mod I've always wanted to make, but I've never had the time or mod mod making skill, programming skill to do. Is to do like custom taunts. You could sit down, do the hokey pokey, do a conga line, obviously inspired from Team Fortress 2. I've always wanted to do that. So I mean, I might give it a try because I've always wanted to do custom taunts in Minecraft, but other than that, I don't have much hope for it. I don't think it's going to be very good. So this is way into overtime, like half an hour. Hopefully render time doesn't piss me off too much. So that's the end of the video. I always forget to end off my videos with stop the talk when it's Igbar o'clock, because that's a horrible outro phrase. So I guess we'll just end it here. I'm very bad at endings, so I guess I'll have to go back to stop the talk. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed like half an hour of ranting at a computer screen as an April Fool's joke. And remember, stop the talk when it's Igbar o'clock.